Cette Sunset Session vous est présentée par... This Sunset Session is presented to you by Ville de Montréal. Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, veuillez accueillir, please welcome Kallitechnis.
So loud, gonna write today. Clouds so low, I've been turning gray. Running back like the clock's delayed. Kylie says, I'ma make you say my name. Make you say my name. Waiting for a sign. Trying to see if stars align. Would we leave our shit behind? Our love keeps changing all the time. I can't live without what we have found. I cannot help myself, baby. I'm still holding on. How could this be wrong? I cannot help myself, baby. Hate to feel so guilty just for calling on you. Never wanted perfect, I just didn't wanna lie. Years later, I still can't believe where this are. It's the way you bless me with your energy. Trying to be your babe for life, not quarantine. I know I'm meant to be giving you space, but truth is masks off, I'm ready to face it. Waiting for a sign, trying to see if stars align. Would we leave our shit behind? Our love keeps changing all the time. I can't live without what we have found. I cannot help myself, baby. I'm still holding on. How could this be wrong? I cannot help myself, baby. I just wanna feel you, boy. Close my eyes and act like it's alright. It's alright. I just wanna feel you, boy. Close my eyes and act like it's alright. It's alright. Life's so loud, gonna write today. Clouds so low, I've been turning gray. Running back like the clock's delayed. Baby, say my name. Ooh, it's Kallitechnis, bitch.
Merci Kallitechnis, that was fantastic. Bienvenue à cette Sunset Session présentée par la Ville de Montréal. Vous êtes à C2 Montréal. Alors, Kylie, je t'invite à te rejoindre à nous. J'invite aussi Jeanne Dorelli, qui est de Zoo Montréal, qui est la directrice du développement des affaires et aussi des stratégies marketing, en plus d'être coprésidente de la Commission Montréal numérique. Bonjour à Pamela Snyder, Creative Director of Moment Factory. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good. This was great. How does it feel to perform, Kylie?
Relieved, and I'm just honestly blessed with the opportunity in this time, definitely.
Yeah, it feels good. And then,
Yes.
Are you getting used to this format?
I'm trying to. I mean, I have to adapt with the times, so I'm definitely trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we are in the offices of Moment Factory. We are next to your neighborhood. We're very
Yes.
close to Park X.
PX, yeah.
What is your connection with the creativity of Montreal and how important it is for, what do you get out of creating in Montreal?
Okay, so I consider myself very much of a hybrid because of my identity. So I'm of Greek origin. I speak 3 languages. I'm part of this beautiful multicultural city, and I've always felt like I could express myself freely. Parkex is also very ethnic, very colorful in a number of ways, and just very accepting. So I've always tried to have that resonate in my art as well. And so translating into the art, yeah, I just like to fuse a bunch of musical styles together. So I'm very much the hybrid that is Montreal in a musical form, I'd say.
Very nice. Et ce que je veux dire aux gens qui nous écoutent, si vous avez des questions, que ce soit pour Kalli, que ce soit pour Jeanne ou pour Pam, pas pour moi, moi je ne réponds pas aux questions aujourd'hui. Vous avez toutes les informations dans le chat, allez-y. Et à la fin de la session, on va prendre le temps pour lire vos questions et les dames vont prendre le temps d'y répondre aussi. Kalli, c'est sûr que tu as eu à t'ajuster depuis les derniers mois à cause de la pandémie.
Oui.
Donne-nous un exemple des ajustements que tu as dû faire dans la création, mais aussi dans la performance.
Oui, so I've definitely adjusted in really tuning in again with my process. So I think this like halt with music has allowed me to kind of fall in love again with just creating and like songwriting, and in turn, you know, not being able to perform in front of a crowd, I'm just constantly thinking of ways where I can share my artistic essence and connect with people and make them feel good again, which has always been my intention in performance, but to do that with the screen dividing us. And it's challenging, but I think it's just part of being creative to adapt. And I think allowing myself to like not necessarily have the answers and be vulnerable, that allows for that like authentic connection to happen, whether there's a screen in front of us or not. So I'm trying. I think that's what this is all about. Yeah.
Et Jeanne, Pam, la même question pour vous, parce que c'est pas seulement les artistes qui ont eu à s'adapter, ce sont aussi les corporations, les bureaux. Comment est-ce que ça s'est traduit, Jeanne, pour toi, chez Zoo, et puis même à la commission aussi?
Alors, chez Zoo, nous, on est un hub créatif. Notre mission première, c'est de soutenir les entrepreneurs créatifs en divertissement dans les industries culturelles numériques. Et nous, j'y pensais justement en venant, puis je me disais, quelques jours avant, le 13 mars, le 10 mars, on a terminé un lab Art AI avec Nutech. Donc, on recevait une dizaine d'artistes qui venaient de plusieurs pays dans le monde, Bulgarie, Russie, Mexique, qui étaient venus pour travailler justement sur leur processus créatif et intégrer l'intelligence artificielle dans leur processus créatif. Et là, du jour au lendemain, ces gens étaient partis, les lieux étaient un petit peu plus vides, ça avait créé une effervescence. Et là, on nous disait qu'il fallait complètement vider les lieux. Donc, on avait à peu près 80 entrepreneurs qui étaient là de façon quotidienne, qui venaient travailler sur leurs différents projets. On ne pouvait plus les accueillir. On avait aussi des programmes d'incubation qui allaient commencer dans les 2 semaines qui suivaient. Et du jour au lendemain, on a dû rendre tout numérique. Donc, Kalli, tu mentionnais la relation avec l'écran. Nous, ce qui nous fait vibrer, c'est d'être au contact de ces entrepreneurs-là. Et là, il a fallu réinventer l'incubation, qui est un processus qui est très intense, justement, à distance. Donc, ça a été une vingtaine d'entreprises sur plusieurs mois qui ont quand même, on a quand même réussi. On a pu poursuivre notre mission.
Et le mot réinvention a été utilisé plusieurs fois, et puis c'est justifié puisque tout le monde a eu à se réinventer. Mais est-ce que ça a forcé Zoo à revoir son identité?
Je dirais qu'on s'est concentré sur notre mission première, surtout. Je ne pense pas qu'on ait réinventé notre identité. Par contre, on s'est concentré sur notre mission, sur notre lien avec les entrepreneurs, puis là, la question a été de comment les soutenir et comment les accompagner pour passer à travers cette crise. On a une équipe incroyable, entre autres, qui travaille aux affaires gouvernementales, qui s'est occupée de façon quotidienne de traduire les mesures gouvernementales qui sortaient pour qu'elles soient un petit peu plus compréhensibles pour les entrepreneurs, qui comprennent quelles étaient les opportunités qui s'offraient à eux. Donc ça a vraiment été, je pense, plus que de la modification, ça a été de se concentrer sur l'essentiel.
Et Pam, at Moment Factory, one of the things Moment is known for is to translate music into experiences, shows or experiences, and then no more shows?
Yeah, it was definitely a big shock. At Moment Factory, though, we have a lot of different units, so we actually have many different varieties of projects. So we do projects in airports and cities and public spaces where it actually isn't about gathering necessarily tons of people together, but just passerbyers. Definitely in the music industry, it was a big shift because no more concerts, no more events, no more gathering of people. So we've really had to rethink it. Moment Factory, our motto is we do it in public.
Right.
And it's all about bringing people together through human connection.
Right.
So we use technology, and it's always about harnessing technology to bring human connection, real human connection. So we've always been thinking about how do we explode the screen, the interface, so that people can really connect. And that was kind of, whoa, we can't do that anymore. Okay. But then the question was, well, how can we still do it in this new era? At first, we started looking at, well, everybody's going live online. Well, how can we still bring participation and human connection online?
Which is something Moment Factory wasn't excited to do for years, going online, but you've had no choice.
Yeah, actually, I was the first employee at Moment Factory, so since 20 years, we always talked about how we didn't want to be online. We always wanted to be in public spaces and bringing people in a real environment. So it was definitely conflicting, but at the same time, if people are at home and stuck at home, how can we still bring that human connection? So we started doing some experiments of how we could do online shows where the Zoom callers or the people that are online could actually be present as the audience, could actually, the live performer could actually see them as well while they're performing, because they need that back and forth relationship. And then also the spectators, how can they still communicate? Yes, there's the chat, but were there ways that they could vote, or they could somehow communicate with the artist, or ask the artist to play different songs, or somehow be part of it? But really we went also in many different directions at looking at also how we can still have our projects succeed in an environment that was safe. So take out anything that was touch, anything that was having people too close together, and we can still, we have projects such as Lumina's, which are different journeys through physical spaces like forests and islands, and we looked at how we could adapt those so they could still open, and some actually opened in June and July, and people are still able to experience these beautiful magical experiences during this different time.
So a two-part question. What have you learned from the human connection? Because you refer to it so much. Et qu'est-ce qui t'a surpris le plus de cette connexion humaine?
Wow, that's a good question.
I try. I try, Pam.
I think human connection is something that we'll always need. I think I've really learned that even being at home with the screen, it's not enough. And so I think that's why we also, yes, we looked at how we can make the online experience more physical or participatory, but it's not enough. We really still, that's why we really focus more of our energy of how can we still create projects where we can still bring people together. So how can we make them safe? How can we create an experience that gives you that same connection with a musical artist, or the same surprise of a spectacle, where you could actually experience it maybe by yourself, where the throughput is totally different, so the whole revenue model is completely shifted. So we've had to relook at how our business model works in this new era. Human connection is not replaceable. I think that's what we all know. I don't know if I learned it, but it definitely was in my face. And so I think right now it's just about being creative. And the beauty of it is actually our mission statement at Moment Factory is now even more pertinent than it ever was before, even though it was still pertinent where, kids are more likely to chat on their phones than they are in person. It's now even more challenging, and as an artist gives us just a whole new place that we have to push ourselves.
Et Kalli, toi, est-ce que tu as été surprise de la connexion humaine que tu as été forcée de revoir depuis les derniers mois?
Yeah, totally. I've been super aware of, not being able to perform and have that energy reciprocated in a crowd. So I've just kind of adjusted and tried to figure out ways where I can still have a genuine personal connection with fans, and kind of create these moments of feedback and dialogue with them that are still meaningful. So I'm actually part of this, or not organization, but it's this service called Community. So basically that allows me to use a number to text with people. So I'm currently sending like daily like motivational, positive like messages, just something like nice that you want to like receive in terms of a message on a daily basis, and that is just like one gesture that I can like put outward, and just, you know, they can reply back, and it just feels like an intimate connection. And these are all just adjustments that I'm making on my own that still feel authentic to me and how I want to present myself. I've been doing a lot more lives, and what's cool about that is the chat option. So just to interact with the fans and maybe not necessarily like feel them, but just laugh at a comment or two and just kind of answer back. And yeah, I think it's really about like managing expectations and not being like bitter about like things not being as they were. I think in music, there's just always this like go, 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 and like, you know, momentum is so important. And I think it was very humbling to stop and reassess, and it was very much like a reality check, and it made me hyper aware of my privilege as an independent artist who like gets to solely rely on music, my privilege like as a white person during the global pandemic. So just put a lot into perspective, but it's really just a matter of transforming that energy, you know, like not dwelling or comparing and being like, oh, this sucks, or it's not the same, and just kind of pushing forward, because we all need each other. So we just have to find newer ways to connect. And it's part of being a creative, to just constantly adapt. So.
Et Jeanne, comme tu interagis avec différents artistes et différents groupes, est-ce qu'il y a un common thread parmi eux depuis les derniers mois, que ce soit la manière de s'ajuster ou bien ce qui leur manque le plus, par exemple? Est-ce que tu entends les mêmes choses de tous ces artistes avec qui tu es en contact?
Mais la connexion humaine, c'est certain que ça, je pense que ça transparaît à travers tous les milieux. On a tous besoin de se voir, et on trouve tous ça très difficile de devoir... c'est pas naturel, cette distanciation qu'on a les uns vis-à-vis des autres. Nous, on travaille avec des entrepreneurs. Puis les entrepreneurs, c'est des gens qui ont une énergie à la base qui est extrêmement forte, extrêmement puissante. Et en plus, c'est des entrepreneurs créatifs. Donc, ils combinent vraiment...
Qui ont des cœurs d'artistes.
Absolument. Donc, ils combinent ces énergies-là. Et je dois dire que moi, j'ai plus vu de la résilience, c'est certain, mais aussi une continuité. Une continuité parce que ce sont des gens qui sont très souvent ahead of the curve. Alors, ils vont toujours être à l'avant-garde, ils vont toujours observer, avoir un temps d'avance sur soit le regard qu'ils portent sur les choses, soit leur façon de le percevoir, de le transformer pour proposer des expériences ou des créations. Donc j'ai plus senti une énergie.
Okay. Et comment tu fais pour keep up? Quel genre d'outils tu leur donnes? Comment tu les accompagnes? Comme il y a cette urgence justement d'être ahead of the curve.
Ce qu'on faisait déjà chez nous avant, puis que là, on encourage encore plus, on a un lab dans lequel on invite justement les créateurs, et le lab, on a le droit de le garder ouvert dans les temps de pandémie. Donc, et dans ce lab, justement, il y a des outils qui permettent d'aller propulser cette créativité, d'aller tester, d'aller expérimenter, d'aller...
Comme quoi, par exemple?
Donc, on est connecté à la 5G. C'est une connexion expérimentale qui est apportée par TELUS, donc qui permet justement d'aller tester un niveau de connectivité qui permet de processer des données à une vitesse beaucoup plus grande que la normale. Donc, ça permet d'aller explorer des façons de connecter beaucoup plus rapidement avec une audience. Ça permet aussi potentiellement de réduire la quantité de devices nécessaires dans une expérience. Donc, par exemple, pour tout ce qui va être réalité augmentée ou réalité virtuelle, on va pouvoir alléger les devices, ce qui fait que l'expérience va être plus humaine. Donc, c'est le genre d'expériences qui peuvent être testées chez nous.
And Pam, I know you've been certainly playing with different types of toys to make things happen. Less traveling, I know. So how, Moment is all over the world. Is there a project that wasn't in Montreal that had to go ahead?
Actually, yeah, we delivered our very first 100% remotely integrated project about a month ago. And this project actually started during COVID as well.
Where was it?
It was in China, Beijing.
In China.
And so completely different time zones, completely, other side of the world. And it was incredible, something that before COVID we wouldn't necessarily have thought that we could possibly do. And of course, anything is possible if you put your mind to it. So here we've never met the client in person. We did everything from the initiation phase all the way through to delivery through Zoom calls and mainly Zoom calls. So
the same hell as the rest of us. Zoom calls. Okay.
Yeah, but it was actually quite amazing. We ended up collaborating with somebody, a company in China, to help us integrate it. So there was somebody actually on the grounds to make sure that everything was set up properly. And we stayed on Zoom calls. We had a Zoom call going on for 24 hours that had cameras in the gallery. So it was an exhibition in UCCA. Which is a contemporary art museum in Beijing. And it was amazing to see how everybody adapted and everybody, we were able to do some tests here in this exact room here where we came with our masks and tested that everything worked. Sometimes I would even be at home being pregnant and not able to come. And we'd have like the Google Meet videoing what was happening, and I'd ask them to move a little left or move a little right and move faster or kind of direct them from the camera, which was interesting. And then it was delivered and everybody's super happy. The results are just as good, if not better, than what we would have done if we had traveled there.
And if you had to compare between when you were on site with the entire team and this new reality, what is your biggest takeaway, or I guess your biggest surprise in delivering that project?
My biggest surprise is that we could do it.
Right.
I think. It was really the fact that no matter what, we still came through as a team. When you're on site, you're just going, and you have no time to think. Whereas here, there was a little bit more reflection, I guess. There was a little bit more time of also understanding your own health. Like, I think when we're on site, sometimes for integration, the adrenaline is so high that sometimes you forget to eat, you forget to sleep, you don't have time to do any of those things, you just go, go, go. Here, we really, you're looking at a screen, so your adrenaline's not the same, and also your stamina is different. And we really worked as a team. I felt that my team was so behind me, especially being pregnant. I had to sleep, even if, the press was coming at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I always had people that were like, what, we'll be online, we'll record it, you can look at it in the morning, or, I felt really supported, which was really beautiful.
And how has creativity changed in the sense that, do you always think of the limitation? Do you say to yourself, maybe I'm going to produce this great music, I don't know when I'll be able to perform it live? Does that ever weigh in your creativity?
Yeah, I think it could be disappointing to think that, I'm getting excited about all of this music that I'm writing and I won't be able to perform it as quickly as I would like, just, to carry on that momentum that I'm always referring to. But I think what's been really cool is that I've been able to songwrite and produce songs via Zoom with producers all over the world.
Nice.
And I'd already developed some of those connections through things like Instagram and Twitter, and just messaging people when you're interested in what they're doing, and just collaborating that way. But I've done at least a weekly Zoom session where we get to just create together, and they share their screen with me, and they share their Ableton software, and I can just see what they're producing and provide that live input, and just feel like I used to feel when I'd be present in a studio with the producer, and we'd make that magic happen. And it's been super reassuring to be able to kind of mimic that feeling virtually. And like I said, there's hope, and there are ways around things, and it's just cool to be able to still connect with people all around the world and create music that is very much a reflection of the times.
And do you find that the collaboration might be more, I don't know, maybe closer because what you're going through, the person you're speaking to in Europe has gone through the same thing. Everyone around the world has gone through this pandemic. Do you find that there's this sense of collectivity or connection more today than
Definitely.
Before, yeah.
And I'm so hypersensitive, and I find that very, very beautiful, and I think it does translate into what we're writing, and I think whoever I collaborate with, we just like fall into each other. It's just like we exhale and we're just like, okay, like we get each other. We may not live the same lives, be part of the same circumstances, but like there's something unifying us here, this collective experience. And since to me music is just an expression of like our daily life and just an extension of what we're all going through anyway, it feels natural that whatever we may be feeling, all the ups and the downs, and that just comes together in this form in music, which to me is so unifying in itself. Yeah, it's pretty, it's beautiful.
Et Jeanne, comme il y a tellement d'éléments qu'on ne contrôle plus, on contrôle plus encore moins le temps qu'avant, est-ce que la définition de perfection a changé, Azou? La définition est-ce que les objectifs ont changé dans la qualité peut-être des projets que vous faites?
Je pense pas. Je pense qu'on a... non, on continue à aller chercher les meilleurs projets. On continue à vouloir amener ces projets aussi à un niveau qui va leur permettre de performer, de propulser. Nous, notre mission, c'est vraiment d'aller donner des outils d'entrepreneurs à des créatifs. Donc, on ne touche pas la portion créative, justement, la portion inspiration. Ça, celle-ci, elle reste intacte et elle va être développée au gré de ce qui se passe en ce moment à travers la pandémie, des sensibilités de chaque créatif. Nous, on va aller amener les outils d'affaires.
Ouais.
Donc, les portions qui elles, le marché, il reste difficile. Le marché, il va rester compétitif. On l'a vu, il y a des secteurs qui s'en sortent très bien. Il y a des secteurs qui s'en sortent vraiment avec beaucoup plus de difficultés.
Quel secteur s'en sort le mieux?
Le secteur du jeu vidéo a quand même, on a vu les ventes de consoles de jeux vidéo exploser. On a pu voir, il y a des secteurs aussi qu'on ne voit pas encore émerger, mais pour lesquels il commence à y avoir des études qui démontrent qu'ils vont
Comme par exemple?
la réalité virtuelle.
Ah oui.
Donc là, d'ici 2023, on s'attend à avoir une augmentation, une croissance de 22% de ce marché-là. C'était déjà une tendance. Donc là, la pandémie ne fait qu'accélérer les tendances qui étaient justement sur tout ce qui était digital et expérience numérique. Donc je dirais pas ça n'a pas du tout altéré la qualité, ça a permis peut-être de se reconcentrer et d'aller outiller les créatifs justement avec les bons outils, ceux qui vont devoir avoir dans les mains dans les prochaines années pour...
Et est-ce que tu restes encore, il y a encore cet élément de surprise, d'émerveillement quand tu vois ce qui sort de Montréal?
Absolument.
Toujours?
Absolument. Moi, de voir cet été, il y a eu une dizaine d'entreprises qui ont participé à une cohorte sur la sortie de crise, justement. Et on a fait des entrevues avec chacun d'entre eux quasiment dans les dernières semaines. Donc, on a créé cette connexion humaine. Et c'était magnifique de voir justement finalement ces trajectoires similaires qu'on a tous vécues comme humains, de se retrouver cloisonnés, mais cette force entrepreneuriale qui était là, cette créativité. C'est que malgré tout, je parlais avec des jeunes femmes incroyables qui décident d'aller faire de la prise de vue sous l'eau, des chorégraphies sous l'eau en réalité virtuelle. Les piscines étaient ouvertes, les chorégraphies ont eu lieu, les recherches de caméras qui étaient extrêmement complexes, qu'il fallait faire venir d'ailleurs, ont continué. Donc la vivacité, le pourquoi les gens font ce qu'ils font a pas du tout failli.
Il n'y a pas d'essoufflement?
Pas du tout.
C'est super. And Pam, I'm going to ask you the same question, but Callie's going to start setting up. Et moi, j'invite encore les gens à nous écrire dans le chat. Encore beaucoup de questions pour Jeanne de Zoo et de la commission de Montréal Numérique. Et encore des questions pour Pamela Schneider, Creative Director of Moment Factory. Et encore une fois, merci à Moment Factory et à la Ville de Montréal pour cette Sunset Session. Callie, un peu d'intro de Callie. C'est une chanson qui n'a pas de titre, un peu de danse aussi pour Callie. Alors, on se revoit tout de suite.
colors in the air tonight. All the colors in the air tonight. Bodies move, they move for you. Bodies move, bodies they move for you and me tonight. Oh, bodies move, they move for me and you.
That was Kallitechnis with a song that has no title, but that was great. Let's find a title while we're here. Let's do that. J'invite Jeanne Dorély de Zoo à se rejoindre à nous encore une fois. Pamela Schneider, creative director, of Moment Factory. Callie, please join us. And so the Sunset Session is the perfect example of what great collaborations can be, right? Because we have Moment Factory and we have an artist. Do you feel like collaborations are inevitable for the future?
Definitely.
More than before, yes?
Pardon?
More than before?
More than before, yeah. We've even seen, I don't know if some of you saw the Billie Eilish show that we did over the weekend and the project that I talked about in Beijing, even some projects we've done in Boston and different places, in Dallas. We've had to collaborate with people that in the past we might consider our competitors. And we've worked together with them in
Can you
alliance.
name names?
Sure.
Don't.
Yeah, maybe right now. But it's been really beautiful, actually, to like come together creatively and technically, and to share even our trade, what we specialize in, without that fear of, oh, you know, they're going to steal it. It's just now we have to work together. We're all in this together. I think what we spoke about a little earlier about the fact that everybody in the world is going through this. This is the first time that we're living through anything of the sort, where everybody, no matter where you are, what country, we're all experiencing it. And we have this unified trauma, if you will, and also fight that we need to move through. So it's really interesting, definitely.
Et quel genre pour vous deux, en fait pour vous trois, qu'est-ce qui a été le plus difficile dans les derniers mois? Quels défis ont vraiment été plus complexes, plus sensibles?
I think we like to think that things can be predictable and like planned, and I'm someone who I guess gets caught up with having a sense of control, because being an independent artist is already just so wild and like really up and down and volatile. Add like a global pandemic into that kind of halts touring, which is a big part of an artist's life. And yeah, it's just kind of adjusting and realigning your expectations with what you can do, what you can control, and then just focusing on what you have inward and then moving that outward, and not relying necessarily on external forces at play, because you can't do anything about that. No.
Et Jeanne, pour toi, chez Zoo, et pour toi personnellement, en tant que dirigeante, et aussi...
tous les points que Callie a mentionnés, et je dirais aussi le fait de ne pas pouvoir se projeter. Nous, notre mission, c'est de soutenir une communauté. C'est de soutenir des artistes avec des différences, des subtilités, des besoins particuliers. Et là, il faut qu'on invente un plan pour les soutenir dans quelque chose qu'on ne connaît pas. Le niveau d'incertitude est incroyable. Donc, moi, c'est la chose au quotidien avec laquelle je trouve que c'est le plus difficile de continuer à motiver les équipes autour de ça aussi. Nous, on a réouvert, donc on a fermé au mois de mars nos lieux de coworking. On les a réouverts le 8 septembre. On a dû les refermer pas complètement, mais en partie dans le cadre de la zone rouge. Donc, on est constamment en train d'ajuster et parfois, on n'a même pas le temps encore de communiquer ce qu'on voulait préparer, ce qu'on a préparé, qu'il faut déjà se réajuster. Donc, cette agilité-là qui est extrêmement, je pense, source d'innovation, elle peut être épuisante aussi et disons qu'il faut retrouver l'énergie.
Pam, what's been the most difficult?
For me personally, it's been staring at a screen. You know, one of the things that brought me connected with Moment Factory since the beginning was the fact that we all believed in not being in front of the screen too much and to be with humans. So having to transfer a creative process onto the screen of how, I think everybody at Moment Factory feels the same way, is we're people, we'd like to get into a room together, have the whiteboard, build maquettes, you know, do all of these type of creative games, and now we're doing that sitting down, stuck behind a screen, so that was definitely challenging. And the unknown, and you know how long it's going to last, and how much we actually need to adapt. You know, at the beginning it was like, okay, a couple months we can, you know, just move through this. But then now it's like, okay, well, how do we make presentations as exciting and as thrilling when you're talking to a screen, and how, yeah.
I have a question. Stay on that. I have a question for you. Will you adapt your production process post-pandemic? Now that you have successfully delivered your first remotely integrated project?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's actually interesting because when the pandemic hit, we started an initiative internally to see if we could deliver projects remotely. There were about 5 projects that needed to be delivered in the next 3 to 5 months, and so we used them as case studies to see how we could actually manage to do them. Do we work with local suppliers? Can we do it through Zoom? Do we set up 3D cameras in the space? And I was actually working on that initiative as well. And it wasn't just for the pandemic, it was really also, we wanted to lower our carbon footprint anyways. I mean, sometimes we have projects where 25 people might have to travel to integrate the complexity of the interactivity and all the different technology. And so after succeeding with UCCA in Beijing, and also some of the other projects that we've succeeded to deliver without so many people traveling, we realized that it's something we want to continue doing and change the mentality actually at Moment Factory, and hopefully within the industry, that you can actually deliver a lot of projects through collaboration and being
less
home.
Yeah. Right. Kalia, I have a question for you. How do you feel this humility and vulnerability you talked about has changed your inspiration and your creative instincts?
Okay, so I think I was already very intentional in terms of the messages that I want to be present in my lyrics. I have a guiding principle, like a mantra that I have as like a compass, let's say, of soul over ego. So I really try to have my music be representative of that, in the sense that like the messages that I'm conveying in my music, I hope my intention is for people to feel good about themselves when they listen to my songs. So I think how that's actually just been reinforced, and why I feel even more of that being important, is because of what I was referring to. Like, more than ever, we have this opportunity to internalize things and to really focus on like who we are as individuals, what our intentions are, what kind of impact we can have on the world. And I think that it's just ever more crucial for me to continue that mission of like having my music be conscientious in a bit, and in a sense, and to basically have that kind of echo, so that hopefully like my intention can then carry into someone else's life, and then that can be paid forward, and there's just like a chain reaction of not necessarily positivity as in like, oh, life is grand and always amazing, but just I guess a hopefulness, optimism, self-love, a sense of belief in ourselves. And yeah, and I think it's just more important than ever, where we feel isolated, to just find the power within ourselves.
That's beautiful. Optimism. I think we all need it. Jeanne, j'ai une question pour toi. Do you feel like you have to support creators more during the pandemic, or is the pandemic actually a source of inspiration and motivation for them? Alors, est-ce que tu sens que tu dois appuyer les créatifs plus pendant cette pandémie, ou est-ce qu'au contraire, la pandémie a été une source additionnelle de motivation et d'inspiration pour eux, selon ce que tu as observé?
Je pense que ça a été une continuité. Donc, comme je disais, c'est des gens qui sont ahead of the curve, c'est des gens qui s'étaient déjà saisis des technologies du numérique. Donc, je pense qu'il y a beaucoup de choses qui étaient liées justement au fait de se retrouver plongés dans un monde virtuel qui, pour eux, n'était pas un changement, c'était plutôt justement une opportunité de pouvoir communiquer sur ces éléments-là que eux voulaient mettre de l'avant, justement. Et je pense que ça va pouvoir poursuivre comme ça, parce que je pense, en effet, il y a je pense qu'il y a une grieving experience that we're all experiencing, like a collective grieving of some sort of world. Puis les entrepreneurs avec qui on travaille, je sens qu'ils peuvent être des pistes de solutions. Dans les prochaines semaines, on va lancer un programme sur le work, play from everywhere. Donc l'idée justement de jouer et de travailler avec les mêmes outils, les mêmes devices. Comment est-ce que, à travers le type d'outils qu'on déploie, à travers la façon d'engager avec notre audience, avec les plateformes qu'on va déployer, comment est-ce qu'on peut soulager un petit peu le burden que les gens sont en train de vivre en ce moment dans leur quotidien? Ça, c'est des choses que moi j'entends des entrepreneurs dans leur façon d'appréhender le futur.
Et une question en fait pour vous trois, mais rapidement, lightning round. Un exemple de collaboration entre différents acteurs de l'industrie créative à Montréal dans les 6 derniers mois. Quels sont les do's et les don'ts dans les collaborations? Parce que là, on est tous pris avec ça, là, les collaborations. Pam, do's and don'ts.
Do's and the don'ts.
Make it fit in a tweet.
In a tweet.
Yeah.
Trust.
Trust.
Trust each other and give it your all.
Yeah. Jeanne?
Moi, je dirais soutenons-nous, puis gardons l'objectif en tête.
Callie?
Find a common intention and focus on it and expand.
And again in a tweet, what is the best thing about living this thing in Montreal, this pandemic, this world upside down?
The fact that there's so many artists in Montreal and you know that everybody's going through it at the same time.
Jeanne, Montréal, est-ce que les gens avec qui tu travailles ne sont-ils pas les gens qui étaient le plus prêts pour ce qui se passe?
Peut-être, et surtout, moi, je vois une opportunité, c'est qu'il y avait beaucoup de la créativité montréalaise qui s'exportait. Encore plus que ce qu'on pouvait voir ici. Beaucoup de marchés, des créatifs, c'est à l'extérieur. Donc, je pense que cette capacité à rayonner à travers la créativité numérique, on ne l'a pas perdue. Je pense qu'elle est sur pause temporairement, le temps qu'on retrouve des façons de faire des affaires à l'international, mais moi, j'ai confiance que ça va repartir.
Callie, best thing about living this craziness in Montreal?
This city has a flame burning under it, and I think we all love life, and we have that joie de vivre, and we try to maintain that as best as we can, whether it's just like a weekly promenade, going to the boulangerie and whatever, and just appreciating the little things.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you're going to do 3 songs for us?
Yes, I am.
I feel like we won the lottery. And so, Come Up.
Yes.
Say It Like You Mean It. And Mad. And do we not have a title yet for song number 2?
We'll call it Bodies.
Bodies. That was great. Thank you, Callie. Thank you very much. Jeanne, merci. Pam,
merci beaucoup.
Merci. Merci à vous, à la Ville de Montréal, à Moment Factory. Merci.
You got the drive I like, you know your future's bright. I'm watching your show, in love with your light. You do you so right. Small talk, yeah, with the long faces. I'm sick of all the empty embraces. I'ma make it through without fake love from you, boo. I got time for real ones like you, like you. Trying to come up with the ones that hold me down. I got time for real ones like you, like you. Trying to come up with the ones that hold me down. Come up, won't you come up, babe? Yeah, come up, won't you come up, baby? Listen, cosigns, big smiles, style versatile. No box big enough for me. Hey girl, I got you. Stay grounded and love where I found you. It's not what it's cracked up to be. Don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just trying to improvise this little thing called life. Ooh, yeah. I got time for real ones like you, like you. Trying to come up with the ones that hold me down. I got time for real ones like you, like you. Trying to come up with the ones that hold me down. Come up, won't you come up, babe? Yeah, come up, won't you come up, baby? Hey, yeah. I never really ask for much, you hate to compromise. Whenever there's a question, you just rather serve me lies. I really wish you didn't have to take it personal, but you would rather have it that way. I can't rely on us when you barely meet enough to get by on my love. You can't get what you don't earn it at this time. No, not this time. It's never too late to say it like you mean it. Too late to say it like you mean it. We'll be good once you just realize it's nothing to apologize of you. Say it like you mean it. You don't ever ask for nothing. Try to turn another page, things stay the same. Last few weeks been something. All up in my head, I lost my way. Maybe I should loosen up. If I give you the gloves, would you really rough me up, hit me with the tough love? Yeah, I can't rely on us when you barely meet enough to get by on my love. You can't get what you don't earn it at this time. No, not this time. It's never too late to say it like you mean it. Too late to say it like you mean it. We'll be good once you just realize there's nothing to apologize of you. Say it like you mean it. You know I hate it when the bubbles disappear, only to come again with messages covered in tears. And still I say I love you, stronger than my pride. I lay in bed at night with peace, knowing that I have tried. Yeah, giving credit to the way I feel. Yeah, I'm a big girl, baby, yeah, I keep it real. Yeah, holler back when you got time. Please forgive me if I cross the line. Why you gotta be so mad when you feel away, feel away, feel away? Why you gotta be so mad now with losing what we started, baby? Why you gotta be so mad when you feel away, feel away, feel away? Yeah. Why you gotta be so mad now with losing what we started, babe? You know I hate it when the bigger picture fades, only because I'm left to deal with darkness in your shade. You'll end up losing me by stressing over little things. I'd rather die than live by fearing what the future brings. Yeah, giving credit to the way I feel. Yeah, I'm a big girl, baby, I keep it real. Yeah, yeah, holler back when you got time. Please forgive me if I cross the line. Why you gotta be so mad when you feel away, feel away, feel away? Why you gotta be so mad now with losing what we started, babe? Why you gotta be so mad when you feel away, feel away, feel away? Yeah. Why you gotta be so mad now with losing what we started, babe? Thank you so much.
Cette Sunset Session vous a été présentée par... This Sunset Session was presented to you by Ville de Montréal. Mesdames et messieurs, le programme officiel est terminé pour la journée. Nous vous invitons à continuer le réseautage sur la plateforme et à nous retrouver ici demain. Ladies and gentlemen, the official program is now over for today. We invite you to continue networking activities on the platform and to join us again here tomorrow.